All right. I'm trying to see if anyone is logging on. I was just talking for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Then someone shot me a text and said, "Where are you at?" I'm like, "What do you mean where I'm at? I'm talking." So I don't know what was going on. I see. All right, we got 10 people, 12 people drop. All right, when you guys get on, make a comment because I've been talking for like 5 minutes. And I was like, man, no one's tuned in today. I thought everyone was busy. But I guess it was just me or my connection or something. All right, I see people dropping on. You guys give me some comments. Let me make sure everything's good before I start over again. Man, I've been sitting here talking for 5 minutes. And no one's even watching. I thought the Daily Dose was over. I said it's old news. It's played out. No one cares anymore. Oh, okay, see? All right, sorry, Tambria. I don't know what was going on. Man, all right, see, we popped up to 20 people now. I'm not exaggerating. I've been talking for the last 5 minutes. I'm like, man, there's no one on here. What's going on? I guess, I don't know. It was telling me I was live. Everything looked normal. No, Tambria, no CPT. I've been talking for 5 minutes. I don't know what was going on. Sue, don't worry. I'm going to be here every day, at least for a year. Yeah, I don't know what was happening, but hey, it doesn't matter. We're up and running now. I see we got about 30 people on here just like that. I'm glad you guys didn't leave me. I was here though. I was talking for sure, but I just realized that. So thanks, Shandon, for shooting me that text with all the alarm clocks. But everything's good though. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to my boy Leonardo DiCaprio. All right, gotta be honest. I've been a fan of his for a long time. The first DiCaprio movie I saw was Titanic. Yes, that's one of my favorite movies. My wife will tell you, I'm not ashamed. I love that movie to this day. But that's not the point. The point is that my boy Leonardo won Oscar, Emmy, I don't know, one of those things he wanted to win. One of those things he deserved for a long time. He needed to be recognized. So that was pretty cool that he won. I think one of the bigger things for me, the reason I continue to be a fan of his, because unlike most, even when he did not win, he never said anything negative about another person, about this company, that company. He just came back better and better and kept grinding and grinding. And he knew that eventually they would have to recognize him. And I'm glad that happened last night for him. It's pretty cool to see. Well, I don't know how long he's been trying to get that award, 20 years or something. I don't know, whenever Titanic came out, he should have got one for Titanic. It's one of the best movies of all time. You guys get me sidetracked. Leonardo's my boy. He won. I haven't seen his new movie, but I'm going to go see it. I heard it's pretty good, like all his stuff. All right, so let's get started. Bam, the book, Power of Broke. How many people have this book? I want to see some comments below. How many people have the book? How many people have started reading it, right? It doesn't do you any good to have it and then not read it, right? It's key that we start reading this book. I'm going to start talking about it on Wednesday. I am in the last chapter. Well, I'm finished up the last chapter. So it took me about a week to read. It's a good read. I'm gonna give it an A+. I'll give it a B. It's a B book. Has some great stories in there, and you just get into his mind. About the way he thinks about stuff, the way that some of the stuff that other people have had to go through to get to where they were by using the power of broke, and he'll expound on that a ton in the book. So if you haven't gotten your book, get it. Barnes and Nobles, Amazon, wherever it is, wherever you purchase it from, doesn't matter. But this is a pretty good book, and we're going to talk about it throughout the month, even though the month doesn't start until tomorrow. Leap year. All right, Candace, come on, get it really soon. I need you to get this book. This book is great. No, it's not great. It's a B. I just lied. It's a B. But it's a good read, though. I think you enjoy it. I think everyone will enjoy it, because you'll get that. He has some big name people in there, and they talk about how they got started and stuff like that, and all that type of stuff right there is always motivating and cool to hear. But we're going to talk about being a professional today. We're going to talk about being a professional versus being an amateur. I was talking to a friend yesterday about their business, and then I saw someone, and that same person sent me an article about being a professional versus amateur. It was a really good article, so I got on, read it, did a little research, and then just gonna share my thoughts on being a professional versus being an amateur, right? I think that day to day, being a professional is first and foremost a mindset, right? Before you make money, before you have staff and brick and mortar building, all this stuff, being a professional is all in your mind, right? Because before anyone believes that you're a professional, you have to believe that you're a professional, right? Let's think about professional athletes, just because they're easy targets as far as this goes, right? Most of those guys work from the time they're little boys or little girls, so 7, 8 years old until the time they're early 20s before they become a professional, right? So that's, I played sports growing up, played through college, so that's from the time I'm 7 to the time I'm 21. You're practicing every single day. You're doing stuff outside of practice to get better. You're traveling. It basically becomes what you do on a daily basis, in and out. Especially if you go to college and they give you scholarships and stuff, they expect a lot of you. So let's talk about that as far as in our daily lives, in our business relationship, whether you own a business or you're an employee, right? What are you doing, every day to make yourself better, right? It doesn't matter how you feel. It's not about being quote unquote motivated, because motivation runs out fairly quickly. Of course, it's easy to watch something online and become motivated, right? You watch a cool video, you see Steph Curry drop 12 threes. Like, if you're a basketball player, you're motivated, right? That runs out quickly though, because most of the time, for someone like Steph Curry to get where he is, he shot a lot of shots by himself in a lonely, quiet gym, right? Same thing with us. Me personally, I've spent a lot of times coaching a lot of classes with one person in it. Not a lot of people in the business when we first start, right? But that's part of it. But you still treat every day as it's a great day, as it's as it's going to be big one day, right? It's going to be really, really big. I've always taken my craft, my skill set that I'm doing right now, as far as owning the gym, I've taken it from a professional level from day one, right? Even when I was spending more time working out than I've spent a lot of time working out, I've still always taken my business very, very seriously, right? I've always paid people to help me, that type of stuff right there, because the first thing is, I know that I don't know everything, and I want to make sure that I'm not wasting time. I want to make sure I'm doing stuff the right way. So I think you have to sort of draw that line in the sand and say, all right, I want to be a great architect, a great engineer, a great business owner, a great photographer, a great salesman, whatever that is. And I think you really have to make some sacrifices in other areas of the life so you can become better in that specified area, right? So whether that means spending money on finding you a mentor, one of the things that I did, I like to say, before I even had the money, I was basically paying a mentor to help me, right? To sort of change my mindset, to get me working towards, my dreams. If you've never, been a CEO or been a manager or something like that at a company, right? You want to find people that have been there before you, so that they can help you along the way, so you can skip some of the mistakes that they made. They can help you through it and stuff like that. So that's really key, that you find someone that can really guide your steps, so you don't have to fall in the same pit holes. There's no need to do make the same mistakes everyone makes. There's really no need for that. So finding someone that can basically challenge you every single day. I think that one thing that I'm personally doing to challenge myself, I don't like to tell you guys stuff to do and that I'm not doing it myself. One of the big things for me is obviously getting on here every single day. I have dreams past the daily dose, right? I never thought that I would get on this thing every day and talk to people, and obviously with social media being so easy, I was like, I'm just gonna do it on Facebook. and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's why I've dedicated to get on here every day for a year straight, right? Because I think it's going to make me a better speaker, going to make me a better person. It's already challenged me in ways just by some of the questions that I get, right? So you have to decide what your goal is, right? That's one thing a professional does. Then you have to work on that every single day. Not when you're motivated, not when you feel like it. Every single day, right? Every single day. Of course, you guys know that if you think of the most successful person that you know in your field, right, or whatever you want to do, I guarantee if you talk to them, they work on their craft every single day, right? Of course, you get to a point where you might not have to work on it every single day. You may take a weekend off or something, but when you're first starting off, it's going to be every single day. It will consume your life, sometime a little too much, right? But I think that that's just part of the grind, part of the hustle, right? That's something that I struggle with. Good thing my wife helps me, because I want to be the best businessman possible, right? I want to help other people become successful entrepreneurs, leaders, stuff like that. So I step outside of my comfort zone. I push the envelope, and I really try to just do stuff that's uncomfortable for me, so that later on in life I can really be an asset to many people. So that's what I tell you guys. Find out, first of all, know what you want to be great at, right? 2, work on it every single day, right? That's the big thing. Everyone has big goals and big dreams, but when they get sick, when they're tired, when something happens, right? Stuff is always going to happen, right? Especially before you really get into your field or wherever you want to be. Like, stuff's going to happen that's going to pull you away from working on that business plan, from going to, meet those clients after a long day at work. The kids are going to, that stuff's going to happen, right? Of course, there's some things you cannot get around, but most stuff you can find a way to make it work. It may be a huge inconvenience or something like that, but if you're serious about it, you will make it work most of the time. Not every single time, because of course we all have emergencies, but I think too often people use excuses, oh, I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I don't have enough time, and that's just not true. There's no difference between you and the person who's at the top of your field, that sort of the person that you look up to. There's not a big difference, right? They didn't have, an extra hour in the day and stuff like that, like you guys are going to hear about in the book. Even if they had money starting off, that doesn't mean they're going to be successful. That didn't give them a clear path to success, because if that was the case, everyone that had money would keep money, and they would be successful, and their family would be successful, and it would just be a endless cycle going and going. And we know that's not the case, especially now. I think that I want to say now about 80% of millionaires are first-time millionaires, right? So that's a lot, as opposed to early 60s. I want to say about 60% of millionaires were first time. So it's changing. The landscape is changing, especially with social media, being able to reach so many people so fast. Like, that helps a lot, because obviously if you have a presence and people that follow you, then you can push your product, and you have fans that'll push your product, as opposed to back before the social media was so big and all this stuff. You had to get out and grind a little bit harder, I think. Now it's just a different type of grind. Doesn't mean it's easier, but it's just different, right? There's high school, college kids making $10,000-$20,000 a month from social media stuff, from having an Instagram account and keeping up with it. So, you guys better figure that out for sure, right? You better figure out how to become a social media guru, because everyone's on it, right? How often do you go to the mall or anywhere and you see, everyone looking at their phone? I'm guilty of people looking at their phone, right? That's access, easy access to everyone, right? Everyone's on their phone, social media. Even if you're a little bit older, right? You better figure it out, right? Because that's where everyone is. You figure out what your target market is, and figure out how to get your product, your info in front of them, right? Because that's that's what it's going to now. It's so easy. You can come in contact with so many people. Like I have, usually now, even what have we been doing? This is episode 8, right? So 8 episodes. I did a couple before I came up with the concept of recording and all that. So this is 8. I probably did like 2 or 3 before. So I've been on here 11 times doing this already or so. But just in that small amount of time, I usually have 30 people on at a time hanging out. We're learning stuff. And I usually have 700-800 views on the video. Been doing it 2 weeks, right? I try to put out content, and so hopefully people continue coming back and continue sharing. But I'm hoping that a year on the road, I don't know what it's gonna look like. You know, it'd be cool to pop on here. We have 1,000 people on here or something, that we could go back and forth and challenge each other and make each other better, right? So that's what it's all about. So my challenge for you guys is to know what your goal is, right? Work on it every day. Write it down. We talked about that schedule, right? Write it down so that you can work on it every single day. Even if it's for an hour a day, write it down, put it in your schedule, and work on your dream at least 1 hour every single day. That's a great place to start. You don't have to do more than that. That's a good place to start. And once you do that, like, you'll start feeling like you're never gonna feel bad for working on your dream, right? It may be hard to start on it, but once you finish, you're gonna feel great, right? Same thing with working out. You know, a lot of days you may not feel like going to the gym. Sometimes I don't feel like working out, but I've never felt, you know, horrible for working out. I always feel better, more refreshed, rejuvenated afterwards, right? So that's my challenge to you guys. Make sure you know what your dream is. Work towards it every single day. All right? Don't let a day go by that you don't get to work on your dream. Tomorrow when I get on, I'm gonna talk about the book a little bit more. I'm gonna share a little planner with you guys. Someone that I know posted this planner. I looked at it, got it. It's pretty good, right? If you need that type of structure, it's a planner. Everything's already there for you. You just write in it, turn the page. All right, so that's gonna be a great asset to many of you. I'm not sponsored by this company, obviously. It's just a great planner. It'll help you guys a lot. So that's all I have for today. The Daily Dose. We're getting out of here. Remember, tell a friend to tell a friend. 11:45 every day. We're dropping business, knowledge, motivation stuff, and we're just going back and forth, right? No one gave me any questions today, but that's fine. I had a little bit to talk about after the weekend. So if you guys have questions, post them in the comments. I will make sure I get to it tomorrow if possible. And I'm out. See you later.